For the first time in over 50 years, Britain will help build military aircraft under contract for the U.S. Air Force. Since the U.S. Marine Corps purchased the Hawker Siddeley Harrier in the 1970s, the UK has not delivered a complete military aircraft to Washington, despite its Tier 1 partnership in the F-35 program. The Royal Air Force, meanwhile, has 3 E-7 Wedgetails on order, with deliveries set to begin in 2026. The type will replace the retired E-3D Sentry fleet and provide long-range detection of hostile aircraft, missiles, and drones. Jobs boost as UK set to build military aircraft for United States for first time in over 50 years. More than 150 jobs to be created in Birmingham by new contract to deliver advanced surveillance aircraft for US Air Force, with a further 190 jobs supported across the UK. Contract delivers an additional over £36 million to UK economy and cements world-leading status of Britain's defence industry, which will help build military aircraft in the UK for the United States for the first time in over 50 years. Builds on UK-US special relationship, deepening defence industrial ties and boosting national security while making defence an engine for growth. An Air Force surveillance plane that Congress seeks to rescue from the chopping block stateside is about to get some new life across the Atlantic Ocean thanks to a recent deal with the United Kingdom. The U.S. Air Force has turned to the United Kingdom to assemble its first 2 E-7A Wedgetail airborne warning and control prototypes, in what London describes as the first British contribution to American military aircraft production in more than half a century. The British Ministry of Defence confirmed the arrangement on September 18, 2024, during US President Donald Trump's state visit to London. The project is expected to create around 150 jobs and inject more than £36 million into the British economy. The Ministry of Defence stressed the historical significance of the contract. For the first time in over 50 years, Great Britain will contribute to the construction of military aircraft for the United States. 2 Boeing 737 passenger jets will be converted into advanced prototypes of the E-7A Wedgetail at the company's facility in Birmingham, England, the British Defence Ministry said in a September 18 statement announcing the contract. The deal marks a boon for UK industry, which will build military aircraft for the US Air Force for the first time in more than 50 years. The E-7, with its advanced radar and communications systems, can detect and track aircraft and missiles from more than 300 miles away and serves as a flying command center for directing air operations. A British Air Force E-7 Wedgetail aircraft sits on a runway awaiting takeoff. The US Air Force had planned to replace its fleet of aging E-3 Sentry AWACS aircraft with the E-7, citing its modern radar, enhanced reliability and faster deployability as key advantages over the Cold War-era aircraft. But in June, the Defense Department said it would cancel the Wedgetail program due to significant delays and cost increases as well as concerns about the aircraft's ability to survive in a contested environment. The UK deal was taken by some as an indication of a reversal of the plan for the aircraft. Trump's administration and the DoD deserve commendation for revising their fiscal 2026 budget submission, retired Air Force Lieutenant General David Depchula wrote in an Air and Space Forces magazine article published Sunday. It carried a headline saying Pentagon's bold pivot. But an Air Force official who responded to questions sent to the Pentagon regarding the Wedgetail program's status said there has been no change. The service will terminate future E-7A production in accordance with the budget request, said the official, who declined to be named. The official referred to the UK work as a pre-planned modification that would benefit both parties. However, congressional lawmakers aren't giving up on the E-7. A Republican-led House bid last week to avoid a government shutdown through November 21 includes a provision directing the Pentagon to continue the program. The bill calls for a diversion of no more than $199.67 million to continue rapid prototyping activities for procuring the aircraft. That effort is underway after more than a dozen retired Air Force leaders urged Congress to reinstate funding for the Jet, Air, and Space Forces magazine reported in July. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has said the U.S. Air Force is exploring space-based sensing systems to replicate parts of the surveillance and command capabilities of the E-7, The U.S. Defense Department also has suggested expanding the use of platforms like the Navy's E-2D Hawkeye. Although the U.S. Air Force did not give an amount for the contract with the UK, the U.S. Ministry's statement said production of the E-7 would inject nearly $50 million into the British economy. The UK is set to become the second NATO country after Turkey to operate the E-7, according to Boeing's website. It's ordered 3 of the aircraft. While the U.S. Air Force officials initially believed their requirements would align closely with the E-7s already ordered by the Royal Air Force, the program encountered complications. Those requirements diverged, complicating development of the prototypes and contract negotiations, explained Andrew Hunter, then Assistant Secretary of the U.S. Air Force for Acquisition and Technology. As a result, Washington opted to order 2 prototypes first. In July 2024, the Pentagon reached a $2.6 billion deal with Boeing to refurbish and convert 2 commercial 737 airframes into the first U.S. Air Force E-7As, work that will now take place in Birmingham, UK. Defense Secretary John Healey MP said, "The relationship between the UK and US has never been stronger, and this new deal with Boeing creates and supports hundreds of jobs across the UK, making defense an engine for growth and strengthening our collective security. This deal is a vote of confidence in Britain's world-leading defense industry and delivers on the commitments set out in our Strategic Defense Review and Defense Industrial Strategy, making us secure at home and strong abroad. The deal benefits both UK and US national security by strengthening the special relationship, while developing the fleet of surveillance aircraft both nations will share in the future, building skills among the workforce while ensuring military operations are more coordinated as a result of using the same systems." More than 40 UK-based suppliers are involved in the UK E-7 program, including the construction of 2 new engineering facilities at Royal Air Force Lossiemouth, built with local Scottish suppliers. US companies also stand to benefit from the deal, with several major defense firms building individual parts to contribute to the global E-7 supply chain. Hundreds of American workers and engineers across the US will then continue to support the aircraft when it is delivered for final assembly and checkout. The Royal Air Force's own fleet of E-7 Wedgetail aircraft are currently being fitted out at the modification facility in Birmingham ahead of delivery of the first aircraft in 2026.